In this walkthrough, I'd like to discuss how to import W-2 and 1099 data into the Yearli desktop application. So once you've installed the software, you'll want to click on Import Data, and you'll select either Import via Excel or Import via CSV, whichever you're more comfortable with. And then you'll want to download our sample file, and you can click on the hyperlink of the form type that you would like to import. And the advantage of using our template is that the column headings will map to the appropriate field on the actual form itself. So it saves you some time in that process. So next we'll want to review the sample file. And on the sample file, you can see that we have some columns that have red headings. And the red will signify that you need data in these fields or columns to ensure that we'll get data into the application. If you see a gray column, that will signify that it is not required data, and technically you could even delete the column if it's not appropriate to your filing scenario. So first we start with the payer information, and you've got the name and EIN and the address information, followed by the recipient's information, SSN, EIN, name, address, and then followed up by the actual data on the form itself. If you only have box 7, non-employee compensation, which all the columns that you see in the field, if you click on it, will show the name or the title of that box along with the box number for reference. And if you don't need, say, box 1, you could technically delete that column altogether or just leave it blank. And then once you have added your data to this form, you would just hit save and save it to a directory of your choice. And then you'd go back into the software, select the Import Data button again, and then you'd want to click on the radio button next to the form type you want to import. Click OK. It'll ask you to select the form that you just created or the Excel file that you just created. And then we're going to run through the mapping step. So in the mapping step, you'll see the column headings that were in your file. And if they're in green, that signifies that they've already been mapped to a field on the form. And you can validate the data by clicking on the Preview Data button. And in this button, you'll be able to select or see that the appropriate information is in the appropriate field, and you can toggle between a few forms just to do some spot checking to validate that. If you need to go back to the mapping, you can click the Map Data tab again, and then when you are confident that looks good, you can click the Next button, and we will run this through various IRS requirements, and we'll communicate anything that needs to be fixed in this process on a Fix Errors page. If it does not find any errors, then you can just continue past and the data will be imported into the application. Once the data is imported, you'll see a few success messages, and then you can validate your data or edit your data or delete some of your data that you just imported by clicking on the payer list, and you can select the payers that you just imported. You can edit them by just data keying in the information and clicking Save. You can delete the payer if you wanted to start again, if you made a mistake. And then one final way to validate the information would be to go through the 1099 summary journal and select the payer that you imported. And then it will summarize the data by clicking on this preview, or you can click the print button. It will summarize the data that was imported so you can validate that it is in fact the data that it matches the data that you thought was coming into the software. So that's how you import data. Thank you for your time.